Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Duke Jason, and welcome to the One vs. One tournament for Dawn of War 3. I am joined with a very special guest artist. Welcome, artist. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. First thing I want to tell you is I really want to thank you for helping me to make this tournament. I couldn't have done it without you. You did a lot of work. You did a big part of the fucking work in running this tournament and making it happen and putting the matches together, and I wanted to say thank you personally.
Yeah, you're the one who started everything, so
Oh
thank
man,
you.
you know what, artist? Because of game day and game night, I mean, for me, it's like because of that single event, that's what keeps the Dow F3, the Dow 3 community going, in my opinion. I mean, there would be nothing else, at least in my eyes. So, I definitely want to thank you on behalf of the community because you're religious and your your administration when it comes to that. Every Sunday, like clockwork, guys show up and play. So that's pretty cool. Um, so again, we had a pretty decent tournament. I got to see some of the games beforehand. Obviously, this isn't a live cast; that's not possible with Dow 3. Some exciting games. What did you think, artist?
It was pretty interesting. I saw some stuff that surprised me. Some pretty nice comebacks later in the tournament. I tried to not watch the last two games just to keep some surprise, uh, not spoil everything for myself.
Well, you
But
know
the
what?
first games were pretty nice.
Yeah, it was there was a lot of competitive games on within the series, so it was a lot of fun to check out, and I hope that all of you guys are going to enjoy the games that we have for you today. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about just Dawn of War 3 in general. It's how long has it been now since the game launched? Has it been 2 or 3 years
Done
now?
3, uh, more than 3 years. Yeah, I think it
When did
was
that
uh,
launch?
May 2017.
Wow. Okay, so we're looking at 3 years now. Um, since it's been out. Wow, so much has happened.
Yeah.
So much has happened since then. And how did you find Down of War 3? How did you get involved with that game? With Dow 3?
I had been playing Dawn of War since um, Winter Assault, which back then I had on a cracked version of the game on a burned CD-ROM. I know it's bad, but
A different
that's how
time.
I started.
Different time. It's called file sharing.
Well, piracy is actually pretty good for the gaming industry. If you look at numbers, it tends, that's free advertisements pretty much.
Well, I mean, if you go back to 2004, it was called file sharing. There wasn't really this piracy lobby that we see today. It didn't exist back then.
Oh yeah, and demos were a big thing as well. You
Yeah,
had
trying
first
to get
levels
you
of
by.
games. Yeah. So that's how I started. I got the game like that. Then I got the vanilla version, the first one, just for the story because I was interested, and that's what hooked me. And then I bought the CD of Dark Crusade, and later pre-ordered actually Dawn of War 2. So piracy is what hooked me,
Ah,
and I pre-ordered it. I bought Soulstorm just to get in the early beta of Dawn of War 2. I pre-ordered Chaos Rising, Retribution, and after the long wait between Dawn of War 2 and 3, I pre-ordered Dawn of War 3 just to get in the beta as well. And
um,
you had some minor skins like goodies for being there early as well.
correct me if I'm wrong. Soulstorm wasn't actually made by Relic. It was made by the same people that created Titan Quest. This is going back to the THQ days, and
Yeah,
and I believe Relic was actually patching that game. They actually took over the support of that game. If that makes any sense, do you recall by any chance?
I think that's how it went. Yes,
Yeah, that's a
there has
long
been
time
some
ago. That's a long time
shenanigans
ago.
with THQ, the the funding and everything.
Yeah.
It was a mess. And it was a mess at the start of Dawn of War 2 as well, where um, y- y- you had to have games for Windows Live
Oh God.
to be able to play the
Oh my
game. Yeah,
God.
it was pretty bad on top of, so you had overlay conflicts. It
Well,
was fun.
well. The crazy thing is that if you have a Windows Live game um, now, your game doesn't work anymore because Windows Live went down. So there's no way to
Yeah,
verify that. So if you bought a game, if you have one of those, if you're one of those people that has a CD with Windows Live support, it's pretty much useless. Isn't that
yeah.
terrible? Yeah.
Thankfully, they patched Dawn of War 2,
Oh, it's a
and now
Steam,
you
really?
just need Steam.
Yeah. Thank God.
Thank God, yes.
Thank God. So what was the first time you actually played Dawn of War?
During the beta, like everyone else, I was waiting for it.
What was your first impression?
Um, I was pretty excited because it looked very polished, even for a beta. The scale of it was what I expected. So 250 pop cap, lots of units, lots of models at the same time on screen, and finally Titans as well. So you have Knight Paladins walking around, Wraith Lords, and Gorknauts. So bigger scale in terms of army size, like proper strategy game, and bigger scale in the units you can have, so larger ones. So I was excited for what we had, like what I saw, and for the potential of it, because I was thinking back then at all the factions. They said early on that they wanted, if possible, to have all the factions in the game. So I was thinking, okay, this is the game for Tyranids. This is the game for my giant mech suits for Tau. It's This is the game for big Imperial Guard armies. So it's going to be great. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, for me, the art style, what jumped out to me back then, I really enjoyed just the way it looked, and also the performance. It worked well on top of
well,
that.
I didn't have the computer I have today back then, so I wasn't able to enjoy the game in full, uh, everything at max in ultra
I think I had a
like I am
1050
now.
Ti.
But it was still very nice looking, even when I was running stuff at mid settings. And today I can run with full settings with my 1660 mobile, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it worked well. The performance was very sharp.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't lag or anything, which was nice.
it was a very short beta, but for me, the gameplay was very simple, and it was a nice change of pace compared to what I'm used to. Which, as a player, I did a lot of playing of Company of Heroes 2, so it's definitely unfamiliar from that classic cover system. It totally moved away from that, but I felt it was enjoyable. I had a good time in that beta.
But it felt different from the cover
Yeah,
system of COH, and Dawn of War 2, since Dawn of War 2 is very much a port of COH into 40K, if you think about it. But it felt like Dawn of War 1. So if you came from the franchise from far back, it was still Dawn of War.
I thought it was beautiful. Um, Game launched, and it was almost from the very first day. It became like a kingdom of trolls.
Yeah.
It was it was crazy. I've never seen anything like that in any of the games that I've played before. Um, and the thing is, these people did not exist during the beta. When the beta was going on, it was a short beta, and that was terrible. The beta should have been 3 4 months minimum as far as public beta to get the feedback and make choices from there. But that didn't happen.
I
Um,
was
I don't
yeah,
know.
I was surprised at that, like, it was like a weekend, something like that. The beta was very short, uh, and it was. the worst part wasn't the length of it; it was how close it was to the planned release. At
Yes,
that point,
absolutely.
why even make a beta since you're never going to be able to implement any change if the beta doesn't go right? So it felt pointless to me, but I
Uh,
still wanted because I wanted to see the
well,
game.
regardless of that, the feedback was good at that up to that point. You know, I was. If you guys don't know me, I've been around Relic for a long time, and I've had the privilege to be a moderator on their forums. Also, I'm also the moderator on the Steam forums as well, for Dawn of War 3. And my thing was, on the forums, as far as the forums is, help people out with installation issues, stuff like that, in the tech forum. And I got to see what happened, and it was just all this negativity from all over the place, and it just didn't make any sense. I thought, uh, if the game had been made by any other company, I think it would have been totally successful. But it's like, I don't know.
There were some communications issues. I feel Relic didn't talk enough about their game. They didn't defend their game, even though to me it's the best one in the series. But they were ready to defend the choices they made uh, design wise, like removing sync kills, reducing the variation in animations, and so on. Why the covers are how they are, why the towers are there, why power core mode was the only mode at the start. Um, all those choices make sense if you're a strategy player, and if you know what their intent was, which was to make an esport strategy game that people could watch even if they don't play the game,
Yep,
but they didn't defend it. And at the same time, you had some big names in the community who used hate clicks really to get a lot of traffic on their videos, and that had a lot of influence in the general
absolutely.
opinion that people had of the game. And to this day, on the Discord, we still get people who bought the game from a sale. Maybe it was like $5. They buy the game and they play it, and they then they comment on Discord and say, "I don't get the hate. What was wrong with the game?" And that's the thing. People listen to the
There was
louder
nothing.
voices.
There was nothing wrong with the game.
Yeah, it was very polished, more so than Dawn of War 1 or 2 at release. Dawn of War 2 required a rework 6 months later after the release to actually rework the engine and everything. Huge patch. Um, but Dawn of War was very well polished, but the louder voices prevailed, and Relic wasn't there to provide a counterpoint to all the criticism.
Well,
And I
I,
feel that's the mistake.
but we had there was no streamer support at that point. Zero streamer support. So you had a guy who's positive. I don't know if you, of course you do. Vindicare X, very nice guy. He had a stream on Twitch for about a
Yeah, well,
year. He had a decent following. I think I seen Cataclaw playing this for a little bit.
he played at the start, and
Yeah.
Vindicare was from the. I know him from the GameReplays.org
Yep.
forums. He was playing Dawn of War 2 with
Yep.
Dolahan, still here today. And I know I played in the very early uh, I think maybe in the beta, I played with Rar, who was one of the best Tyranid players of Dawn of War 2, also big on game replays. So you had a lot of the older guys who were there at the start, but some didn't stay because it wasn't their thing. Some has had age as well, so they couldn't play video games that much because we waited like 10 years or so. I don't remember. Yeah. A lot of time between the games, so that it was not the same demographic either.
You know, when you talk about gameplay, what would you say are some of the fucked up parts of the balance in Dawn of War 3?
Um, I
Excuse my
wouldn't say.
French. Sorry for the cuss there.
Well, I'm the French guy here. Um, I wouldn't say anything is really fucked up. There's some broken stuff, but no RTS is free of imbalances unless you're going to play a perfectly symmetrical game. You always have to going to have some broken stuff, and there's always some strategies that no one tried, and so there's always the secret OP. And when it when you discover it with hindsight, it was obvious that it was broken, but back when the game was still patched, it wasn't. So stuff stayed. Um, some bugs also introduced some broken stuff. For instance, orcs. Wazmaka has some scrap turrets. So when a vehicle dies, scrap drops and it starts shooting at other units. It's supposed to be destructible, so you're supposed to be able to shoot the scrap piles to stop the turrets. But a typo in the code makes it so that the turrets are actually unkillable, so you're doomed to receive damage, which makes the strategy of sending free or cheap vehicles in just beeline into the enemy base actually viable. That's pretty broken, but that's a bug. And there's many examples of stuff that's slightly broken, but just uh, added to everything else makes the balance not so good in retail.
Well,
Even though I have to say that retail is still more balanced than how Relic left Dawn of War 2 or Dawn of War 1.
yeah. Well, in this in this particular tournament, we're playing using the Exodus mod, which is essentially a balance patch. Am I correct?
Yes,
Can you tell
it's
me a little bit about the creator and his goals and what the Exodus mod actually does for the game?
well, the Exodus mod is made by Dulohan, who's a veteran Dawn of War player. You
Great
might
guy.
remember him
Yeah, of
from
course, of course.
GameReplays.org. I think he might have worked a little bit on the Elite mod back when he was like a player test realm.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And the idea behind Exodus was to balance the game after Relic left it. So we have very limited mod tools, so we can't add new models, new textures, new factions like they can in Dawn of War 1 or 2, but we still can affect the balance of the game. So that's what Dolahan did, and his vision. I'm, I'm trying to do this with his support. His vision was to return the balance between infantry, like your general army, infantry and vehicles, and elites to what it was at the start of Dawn of War 3 before Relic tried to change it. So less powerful elites compared to the regular army, as well as moving the economy back onto the field. So your nodes and the upgrades of your nodes actually provide more resources as long as you keep them compared to the passive income from your HQ. So pushing the fight onto the map instead of just staying at base. And the rest of the changes are just minor balance tweaks to weapons, to abilities, and bug fixes like fixing the scrap turret bug, trying to fix. I think the wagon from of the orcs has some issues, targeting issues, some slight stuff like that. Maybe Gorgut's healing objectives that's a bit broken, but that's a bug that is fixed in the Exodus. The point is not to make a remake of the game or a fun mod. It's very much a balanced mod. So trying to keep the spirit of Dawn of War 3, but more balanced.
Gotcha. And I've met Dulahan before, and he's actually in this tournament. He actually played.
Yeah, it was one of
So
the days where he could play.
yeah, so we're gonna show some of his replays. Um, at the end of the day, in a perfect world, I
Oof.
believe that we could put a team together to get this thing balanced the right way. Do you agree with me in that assessment? And do you agree that we could bring this thing back?
Oh, we could definitely revive the game, and other companies have done it with games. I can think of Deserts of Karak. I can think of PlanetSide 2. Even Age of Empires 2. Age of Empires 2 is 20 years old this year. and it has more players than it had back then. It's getting patches with the definitive edition, so Relic could come back to the game, um, and we can definitely already with the mod tools we have make a bunch of changes. If we had better mod tools with the ability to add stuff, we could do it ourselves. But Relic could definitely come back to the game, make an expansion, and people would buy it because
Well, I agree with you 100%, and I think Relic can also you can also take example from Company of Heroes 2, which is one of the greatest RTS stories never ever told. It's a big comeback story, and community patching is what saved the day. And I think that could be done with Dawn of War 3. And in my opinion, I think that coming back and doing the right thing by this game is going to repair a lot of the damage that unfortunately this particular game did, this particular project did between Relic and their community. But with that said, on a more positive note, hey, let's get started. I'm on 10 seconds. Are you?
yes, I am.
Okay, so on the count of three, we will start. Three, two, one, resume. And
All
we're
right.
off, guys. This is round one of the 1v1 tournament for Dawn of War 3. And yeah.
Well, it's Society is playing Orcs versus Weiss, who's playing Space Marine. Society is going to play a very knob-heavy strategy. If you look at the doctrines, we might get over them as they come into play. While Weiss is playing more towards tacticals with a very early game setup, the lower cost elites compared to Society. If we look at Society, he's running Zapnagin, who's a spellcaster and a support hero. Allows you to burst, do a lot of damage, as well as teleport your infantry, your army, in fact. Gorguts, who's more of a tank, while Wace is running Kill Team, Iron Maw, a bunch of special tactical marines, and Gabe, who's a tank, as well as Jonah, who's more of a spellcaster who can buff your army and debuff the other side, as well as dropping big walls to cut off armies. And we can see Weiss is starting to scout the top of the map, sent a single servitor, try to see what Society was doing, while Society is sending boys around, trying to scare him off.
Yeah, I noticed that forward barracks on the right side. Very nice for the
Uh,
orcs.
yeah, the orcs put a boys' hut a little bit forward, trying to protect the objective. So the shield generators provide some resources when you kill them to the person who kills them. But while they are still up, the big towers are there to prevent early rushes to your core. The point is to kill the core.
Well, and
So
Cellsite's really, he's branching out pretty fast.
yeah, but if you look at his economy, he's got 2 rec points already up. Well, they are one is building, one is up. He's trying to build power as well, and they're starting to contest the middle of the map. You
Yes.
see the
Yep.
3 nodes in the middle; they're
Yep.
contested. While Weiss is also starting to get requisition nodes, but he's getting 3 of them, so he's going to have a
Oh my
bit
god,
of
I love this tower. Oh my
yeah.
god, I love this.
That's the best part of Dawn of War 3.
That's the
That's what
best
makes
part
the
of it.
game. I hated orcs in Dawn of War 1 and 2. But yeah, just love orcs in Dawn of War 3. The music is great. The art design is perfect. And now the orcs are all buffed up by the rock music. You can see the little skull, the red skull, orc head above their heads. So now they get 30% more damage, plus 2 speed for a while. And it's called the War. And they are going to try and defend the points that are getting bashed by Weiss, who's harassing Society resources with
Yeah, some hand-to-hand combat over here.
yeah, 3 tacticals marines. So his only hope is to tie up the tacticals so they don't do as much damage because they're shooty guys. But he's sending his boys trying to tie them up. But Weiss is just walking around because he dropped his banner here that buffs his units, so they got a shield for a while, so they might be able to just walk away without losing too much. The boys have lost their war. They might still get a tactical squad. Yeah, they get a wipe on the tactical squad, but Waze is pumping out more. He's using frag grenades.
Yeah, I just
He
saw
got
that.
he got that from one of the doctrines that he picked for his tacticals. It does a minimal amount of damage, but also interrupts. And that's a grenade from Socite, who also picked a tons of bombs, which is a grenade doctrine. So he gets to throw grenades as an activated ability, but he also gets random ones on a cooldown. But Weiss is now in the shield bubble behind his own base, so he's protected from range attacks. He's in range of reinforcements. He has a lot of tacticals, still 4 squads, having lost 1. So the orcs who are not under war have to go back. But Society is launching a defending war, trying to get a buff and scare off Waze, who's going to be able to reinforce that base with now 5 tactical squads. So it's a bit of a stalemate for now. Society got a war off. He healed up. He's preparing some stuff. He's got a Daka hut at the middle of the map. Daka hut is going to give him trucks that are slight support transport units. And he got a Def Gun Luta out, which is a setup unit, like your MG42s in COH. They suppress, they do a lot of damage in a line. He's setting it up in the middle of the map, trying to cover the contest points. Waste got.
Woo,
Yeah.
Quick to throw that nade, boy.
Waze has 2 attacks hidden in the shield cover. He might be trying to bait Socite away from his tower. That's
I'm
smart.
enjoying Socite's game, though. I'm enjoying this orc game. His orc
He-
meta.
He's playing pretty passively for an orc, but he doesn't have much of a choice
No, he doesn't.
in front of 5 tacticals. And Waste is pretty soon going to upgrade them, if I know him. Buying tacticals can get flamers or plasma guns for a cost. And flamers do AoE damage. In Exodus, they also get one guy gets a flamer that he gets to use, and they also get the regular ability, so they do AoE and damage over time. Socite got his first elite out, which is Rebo Zypnogin, and he's using it right now. He uses the teleport, trying to get the high ground, but Weiss is just going back.
Yeah.
Socite is sitting on his unit a little bit.
A little bit of a feeling out process going on right here.
Yeah, they don't really know what to do. The mid has been capped by Society, but there's nothing being built on it, so it's still a bit of a stalemate. Society is trying to scout, seeing what's going on. He's not under war, so it's not a full-on attack. Weiss is also moving his stacks around, trying to see what's going on.
Well, you know what? No matter what, I think for round 1, this is a pretty good game. I mean, both players are not wasting units and doing stupid shit, getting units killed and stuff like that. So
No.
Micro's been good.
Yeah, these guys play every week during the game night, the Discord, so they will avoid most of the noob mistakes.
Yep.
Weiss has built his arsenal, so that's what lets you upgrade your units. It gives the general army upgrades, but having one built is also what lets every single tactical squad to buy individual units upgrades like flamers and plasma guns.
Oh boy!
Tacticals, 2 of them have plasma guns now, and they're pushing.
Angelos is on the field.
And Gabriel Angelos is a beefy boy. He's able to jump and stun stuff. He's got 3 stacks of jump that knocks people down, and he's got a big shield that repels projectiles. So he's going to use that to disrupt. But Zapnagin was able to teleport in, trying to get his nuke abilities on the tactical blob, who took a lot of losses, but they've got a lot of health, so they don't wipe right away, and they're going to be able to walk out of this having lost only
That was
one
just retribution
squad.
he just did.
Yeah,
Very
it's going
nice.
to cost a bunch in reinforcements, but tactical marines are still alive. Only lost one squad, and Gabe has been able to do some
He's in
damage,
some
but
trouble here.
he's trapped now.
Oh
He's
my
safe.
god.
He overstayed his welcome.
Oh my god.
The orcs are getting a
Brutal.
war.
That was
The
fucking
boys
brutal, man.
the boys have scrap on, which means when they've got a small melee charge and they stun on impact, so he was not able to use his abilities to get out of this. That's a big loss because he's going to be on a timer. Now, Society has some war up. He's got his elites still up, and he's trying to get some value out of that small victory up there.
How
But
effective? How effective is Zap Noggin on blobs and stuff like that?
He's very effective if he catches you and if he's got all his trap up, but he's not very strong at staying on the fight. So he's very much like a mage, a
He has to stay in the
spellcaster.
background. Yeah.
Now you can see the tacticals were ready for that counter push,
Yep.
though. They had time to reinforce. They are many of them are equipped with plasma guns. I would have personally gone with flamers versus orcs because of the high mala counts, but the plasma in numbers is going to do a number on Society's troops, and he lost boys from all that Space Marine Daka
Yep.
from the safety of the shield, and he has to back off now.
Well, he kept his hero alive, or Gabriel. And have
Yeah,
that,
that's pretty huge because he will need his hero. Wace is still trying to upgrade and reinforce his big attack marine blob. It's borderline spam at this point. We've got six attack marines. He's sending them forwards. He's got his servitor to see to spot any infiltrated units hidden somewhere. You never know. But he's not walking in right away. He's just trying to decap the middle point. He's going to lose his servitor, but that's not so bad. So far, they both have a decent economy. If you look at their natural points, they're all upgraded. But Society has been sleeping on his node upgrades, so he's not as advanced.
Well, map control's pretty much.
Yeah, it's still in par. They've held their side. Their 2 natural points and the 3 points in the middle have been contested, and so nothing has been built there. So it's still a stalemate. They're trying to see what's going to work. Society is putting boys in his truck. The truck is going to be able to throw the boys on top of the tank blob. He's got some tank bustas now. They do some good anti-armor damage. He's going to be able to push objectives and buildings, as well as sending squigs forward to spot what's going on. Wace is still sitting in his bubble. He's waiting to get all the upgrades, I assume. He has been getting his 2 infantry upgrades for damage and for health. So these attack marines are now very beefy, and you can see that the plasma gun has a lot of burst. So those poor tank busters lost 3 models from a single volley. So it's going to be pretty hard for Society to be pushing into that much firepower from the tanks.
The boys are out.
Yeah, but the shootout was they do a lot of DPS, but they're not nearly as tanky as attack marines. So the attack marines are going to be able to beat them definitely.
Here we go. Oh, nade.
Oh yeah.
Did
Trying
like
to bait.
no fucking damage, man. Wow.
Yeah. Society is still being very cautious. He only sent 1 guy forward, trying to see what's going on, and now he's using his war because he knows he can't fight without war.
Looks like Gabriel's back on the menu.
Yeah, Society got his war upgrade, so now war does the full bonus. So he now gets plus 50% damage and plus 3 speed for all the orcs. He's got an extra 15 seconds of it. Weiss is trying to decap, but the middle contest point. while Society is up top busy. But Society is now very dangerous. The orcs in its games are balanced around war, so they're very underpowered outside of war, but once they're all red like that, they're slightly overpowered. So he has to capitalize on that timer, and he's trying to push to see what's going on. He can either push the objective, and that's what he's doing, or the middle base. But he's going to be flanked by that Tacmarine blob.
If we got the
And
war boss.
and now you have the boys have been thrown, but Gabe is on the back line. You've got a good flank. Uh, Way's got his Jonah Orion on the field, so he walled off the big Daka of the
Orcs are making
suppression.
a run for it.
Yeah, the Orcs have to back off now because they were cut off. Their fire support was caught out of position, so he couldn't suppress all the tac marines, and now he has to run. He lost his weird boy, so he only has Gorguts now, which was not part of the fight, sadly. But since Gorguts is on the field, the war is going to heal his units now when it's go on. Yeah, and that's it.
Gabriel.
Gorgas is a little bit like Orcs Gabriel, as well as a tank with a lot of CC, as you can see. So when he throws his fist like that, he stops range fire, and now he just taunted everyone. And every time he hits someone in melee,
oh, nice.
yeah, Gabe is being swarmed and taunted by Gorgas, and Gabe is dead. Jonah is buffing his units. He has silenced Gorgas with the big flash, so Gorgas couldn't move.
He sends him packing. Yeah, I think that engagement definitely favored the Orcs, but still damage done on both sides.
Yeah, it's damage done. They both lost an elite. They both lost a bit of their army. The Tech Marines are still alive. They're going to be able to reinforce. Really, they survived. You see the first knob from Society, and that's what he was waiting for. He's got several doctrines for them. He's got common that will give them a shield when they taunt. He's got stuck in that will give them bonus damage when they die. So pretty much they don't lose damage as they lose models. That's how it balances. They gain speed and cooldown reduction for their taunt and their axe throw. So he now has some heavy infantry.
Just a quick question: how effective is Emperor's Light when activated? By the Librarian.
Emperor's Lights.
Jonah Cole's from the Emperor's Light increases damage of allies while disabling attacks and blinding and silencing enemies.
That's pretty big. I think it's like a plus 60% DPS for your ranged units, and the silence and blinding is pretty huge. So blinding means that you can't shoot, so they don't do damage with their weapons, and silence means they can't use abilities. So pretty much they don't do anything. So it's very useful to be able to cast that. And when he walls people in, he can cast that inside the wall. So you can see him use his blinding light here. And the attacks are now buffed. The knobs are silenced, but he got caught by the taunt of Gorguts. The army is being flanked by the army of orcs. The Tech Marines got some boys being thrown on top of them.
Yeah, fucking Gorguts is crazy.
And Gorguts is really slowing down Jonah. Jonah is dead.
Yeah.
Gorguts is full health. He's going to be able to push into it. The knobs are heavy armor, and Waste doesn't have anything to counter that, so they're going to be able to just run amok and kill those attacks. There's a Death Storm drop pod
that goes.
Yeah, it was dropped as a last resort, but Suicide already has anti-armor. He's got 5 tank busters, so he was able to stop the drop pod from doing too much damage to his infantry. Wow. And now his knobs and boys are trying to get at the power, and that's GG. So Waze just concede the game, knowing that it was really hard to come back from that.
Yeah, that was a good game. Hey guys, we're gonna take a 5-minute break and get that next replay ready, and we'll be right back.
We should take a longer pause because I need to go eat something.
Not a problem. We'll keep it on the Be Right back screen, and we'll come back with game two, round two.
All right, see you in a bit.
Hey guys, we are back. Game two, round one. Weiss versus Socite, and when
I
you
like
guys
to
are
say that.
ready, I'm ready to hit the resume button on three. On three.
Hold on, hold on. First off, I would like to congratulate Society on his first game versus Weiss, because Weiss is one of the best players left in the game. And the funny story was that Society was really happy to have beat Weiss, but they both forgot that it was a best of three. So he thought he was done, but he wasn't.
Oh boy.
So I'm sorry for Society. And we're going to see Weiss's revenge.
We also have a special guest. Would you like to introduce him with us in
Wait, where?
our channel?
We do?
Oh, we did.
No, we're alone.
Right. I guess he must have left.
Yeah, Sunblast was there,
I
but
thought
he
some
left.
left. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
he might join us later. I don't know.
Um, so on three, should we start?
Yes, I'm ready.
Three, two, one.
Okay, so we have a faction change for Weiss. So he didn't like to lose with Space Marines, so he switched to Eldar. But he's now going to run a Dire Avengers heavy comp by looking at his doctrines, since he's got three Dire Avenger doctrines. And Society is still running the same build, I believe. Yes. So new map, new faction for Weiss. Weiss is going out trying to cap with his Dire Avengers. Society has capped his mid. Now, Eldar are slightly different from Space Marines. They're more glass cannons and hit and runs guys. They're not as tanky as Attack Marines or Space Marines in general, but they've got move speed and they've got shields. So before they start losing models, you have to deal a little amount of damage. And we have the first engagement at the top
Yep.
contested point, where boys are trying to attack those Dire Avengers, but as you saw, they were able to just use their plasma grenades to put the boys on their backs and then run away, and they're now shooting shurikens, I think, at the poor boys who are getting a second grenade to the face, and they're going to die. There's no way they're going to be able to retreat in front of the very fast Dire Avengers. Society has got some Daka out, but the boys are still going to die. Yes, probably, definitely, they're dead. And as you can see, that the Dire Avengers have lost their shield now, so they're starting to drop models. So these guys should go back.
Boom.
But the plasma grenade is off cooldown, and now they're running away because the side has got more boys on the field. He's using his wall. So now he's going with the speed bonus of the wall. He's going to be able to catch up to those pesky Eldar.
That was
But
definitely a good exchange from Yelda.
yeah, the Eldar is ahead, but and you can see Weiss has teleported his warrior portal forward, so Eldar can teleport their buildings like that, and it lets him reinforce sort of on the field. So he's now got three Dire Avengers. He's getting his model back, the one he lost. They're getting their shields back. They are under a fleet of food that is provided by the warp gate. So now they get increased shield regen, increased move speed as long as they fight under it.
Looks
So
like he's pulling
we've got
back now. A little bit.
yeah. The Dire Avengers are trying to stay in range of that warp gate that is behind in the bush,
Nice
because
micro.
as long as they fight there, they get bonus speed and shield regen. So they're going to be able to hold that position from the orcs who don't really have much. You've got 4 Dire Avengers versus 1 boy, 1 shooter. The orc is not going to do anything here. But Society is trying to, yeah, you can see at the bottom contest point, both of them have builders on the point, so that is going nowhere. Weiss has got the middle point, but not building anything there. He we have three requisition points for Wise versus two requisition points and one power point for Suicide. So it's going to take slightly faster. Right now, Waste knows he's got the middle. You can see a Banshee squad built, so he's going to be able to tie up those very strong Shuta boys. He's using his vision detection to see if there's anything
Ooh.
hidden, and now he's got his first elite, very early elite. He's using his doctrine that lets him hide his banshees, and now he's got the scorpions are able to disrupt the Shuta boys. They're going to be able to just walk in there because there's nothing to stop that much firepower for the Avenger squads. Disruption from the banshees and the scorpions. Suicide scuttles the wall tower, but he's going to lose that building, that forward building, and you can see that Wise is calling out from the warp his warrior portal. So now he moved his strong point towards Suicide's shield. He now has his reinforcement right there. He's building Dark Reapers. These guys are a set of platform that do a lot of AoE true damage, so that damage that is strong versus every type of armor. They also slow you down, and they have a very long range. So Suicide has now retreated back behind his tower, but he really doesn't have anything to deal with that much firepower from the Eldar, who are trying to destroy that shield generator. You can see a wall going off, going to boost those 4 boys squads, 2 boys to shoot. But the shield gen is going down no matter what. You can see Society is trying to flank. He's using his speed buff, and he will get behind the Eldar, but the Eldar are just about done, and they're moving back themselves.
Yeah, it's a really good aggressive game here. With the
Yeah.
Eldar. It's a back and forth thing here. Ooh, nice.
But it's too little, too late. The weird boy has been summoned, but he's been summoned very close to the Eldar. The boys are getting shredded by plasma, and the scorpions are now on top of that poor weird boy who appeared out of nowhere in the middle of a lot of trouble. The poor boys are dead.
Oh no!
The Eldar only lost
no.
1 unit, and
Zapnoggin.
Zapnoggin is going down. And he's dead, and the boys are wiped, so there's only a shooter squad left from that engagement. It was a nice flank, but it was too late and off position, and now Society is in a very bad spot. He managed to catch that point at the bottom of the map, but there's nothing built there. He lost his natural expansion right there. The Dire Avengers are capturing it. Wayson's in a very strong position. He's locked the entire top of the map. He's destroying the scrap from the building so that Society can't get any value out of that either. Society is trying to pump units out, but it's going to be
Weiss
really...
is playing, I think, a better game in this one, at least in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's
very aggressive. He's moving around all over the place, using good micro, making sure that the right units are countering the right units, and fun to watch.
Orc early game is quite tough.
It's they have weaker units early game basically.
And as I said earlier, they are underpowered outside of WoW, and early on you don't have that many towers because they cost a lot of power. You don't have your health upgrades, so it's going to be hard for the orcs to come back. They have to hold on and stay alive, pretty much. But the Eldar are not going to let that happen. Waze has got a lot of power. He's got 4 power nodes. And 4 requisition nodes, so he's going to be able to take up now, and we're going to see maybe a Falcon or something. He's got Spectres now. Shadow Spectres are flying units that do a lot of sustained anti-building and anti-vehicle damage.
Ooh,
so with that, he's going to be able to take down that tower We see Ronan as well, who does a lot of piercing damage.
Gotta love that melee.
And yeah, the very useful early game Scorpions who can disrupt
God, why?
everything.
Oh.
It's going to be GG at that point because the Spectres are holding on that tower, which is going to fall. At 8 minutes, it's still low HP. The Scorpions are just running around, making sure that nothing can disrupt the backline of the Eldar. The Eldar have now destroyed that main tower, so the core is exposed. So if they can push into it, they might be able to destroy everything. They still have their anti-armor. They still have Dark Reapers to try and disrupt everything.
Eldar faction is fucking powerful all around. Every stage of the game.
Look at it that way, yeah. They look pretty hard here. You can see they're pretty squishy once they're shielded down, so the Scorpions still have to retreat, even though there's not much. But Society only has 2 squads left, half dead. He's not going to be able to get rid of everything the Eldar has. Weiss has moved his war portal forward again, so he's able to reinforce. Like, he's got his base inside Society's base at this point. Zapnogen is going to try and make a comeback. He's been summoned, but that won't do much. We've got 2 units, like what, 6, 7. Boys are being thrown, and you can see that the big Fist of Gork, teleport from Zapnogen and the blast. So that's what Zapnogen can do. He's a mage, not a lot of health, but he was able to wipe 3 squads. So that's a very nice comeback.
Very quickly.
If you get caught by the first blast, you're stunned, and it guarantees the follow-up. So that was very, very good.
Very good.
The Eldar is front line is going to be crushed by this. And
I'm actually surprised that this happened. This turnaround happened. I thought the game was over.
Yeah, I think Weiss thought that as well and got caught by surprise by that.
Good micromanagement by both guys. Very competitive. Wow.
If you look at the map, the economy is still massively in Weiss's favor.
Absolutely.
So he's going to be able to come back from that probably before Society is going to be able to capitalize.
It's still got a sting.
That was a very nice move, and he's safe-ish for now. You can see another scrap blast.
A moral victory at the very least.
The honor is saved. Zapnogen is in a bad spot, very low health, and he teleports away. He was about to get killed by Ronan's sniper shot. Who's going after him? He has no shields. He's getting shot at, but he wants that kill. He's getting reinforcements from his war portal, and he shot Zapnogen. 1 shot, 1 kill. Zapnogen is dead. That's nasty. Sosa has more units now. He's got a boy to shoot a boy squad. He rebuilds another Watt tower. He's building.
I just don't see how he comes back unless he goes and takes back some of this resource. Get some of the staff control back.
Even tier 2, like taking up for orcs is not as effective as taking up for other factions. If you're Eldar, you're behind, but you get a surprise Falcon.
So, what's his play then? What can the orc player do to win? And, against this faction and this situation on this map.
At this point, Society can't win. Only Weiss can lose. So Weiss must make another big mistake, but I don't think he's going to make one. You can see more.
Let's say hypothetically, what should the orcs do against the Eldar if they want to be successful and actually be able to win? Because this is like, it was a micro mistake, but the Eldar are fucking nasty, man.
Well, orcs can abuse their war, and you can see that orcs are wild up now. They're pushing, and Weiss knows that he can't win that fight as long as the orcs are under war. So you have to capitalize on that and push the Eldar and do enough damage. You can see how fast the building died. Orcs under war are able to push back, so they need to do enough damage to make up for how much damage they take during the downtime of the war.
Here we go.
But you've got the flank by Eldar. His elite is back. You can see his Weiss went straight for a infinite portal which is going to be able to build wraith units, so big lumbering units that do a lot of damage. And he's tier 2, so he could have sent a Falcon. That would be the end of it. He went Infinity Portal instead, so we're going to see what he sends next. Ronan is going to do a lot of damage to these boys, but uh, the shield of the Eldar are down, so they have to go back. I remember when I said they were hit and run. They can't overstay their welcome, so they have to back a little bit, get their shield back. But they make sure the orcs are trapped in their base pretty much. Society only has his natural node. So it's still resources, but it's not enough. Waste has captured the middle point, secured it. He's building a power node at the bottom of the map.
It'd be nice if we could attack and try to take some undefended points at this point, you know?
Yeah,
nothing. I mean, there is no other play, really. I mean,
he
outside of that.
can't get out of the map safe.
No.
Out on the map. Yeah, and Weiss went straight for tier 3, so he skipped. He could have won with just a Falcon. He went tier 3 instead, and just is getting Wraith Blades. That's a bit of a win more here. I'm sure it's the right play because Wraith Blades they do a lot of melee damage, but they do armor piercing, so they're not going to be of any use against the entirely infantry armor of Society. But he can rush the core with that. You can see that Society has built a bigger army. He's got Gorguts. Gorguts might be able to mitigate some of the Eldar damage. He's ward up, so he's going to be able to push. But the Eldar are pushing the bottom point, so he's going to be getting more resources from that. You can see the Wraith Blades are going to do a lot of damage to that building because of their armor piercing damage type. Zap knocking is back, but too late. He's getting his attack out, but he's getting taunted by the charge of the Wraith Blade. He still manages to teleport away, and now Gorgus is there. And Gorgus is going to be able to reduce the damage of the Wraith Blades. And now they've lost all of their shield, even though Society doesn't really have anti-armor. They're still pretty squishy, those blades. So they don't have the right damage type against the army of Society outside of the knobs, and they're taking a lot of damage, so I'm not sure it was the right composition. But Wei still has so much resources that he can afford to just spam units that aren't really the proper counter. The knobs are getting shredded by the Wraith Blades, though, which are dead now. We see Otar Kair, the third elite from Wei, so he has all of his elites on the field now. He had Ronan, the Scorpions, and the Otar. But Gorgus was able to stop that push from going too far, but it's not going to be enough to retake the map. So Waster can just rebuild, and he is rebuilding Wraith Blades. He's getting some outright. Now there's more in the queue. He's massing up at his natural expansion, while Society is just licking his wound at his base.
Yeah, at this point, the Orc player is just smart, keeping his shit alive. Done very well. I think that mistake is why he's here right now.
Yeah, you can see how just a mistake from Weiss allowed Society to get that much back into the game. And now he's healing from Healing Wall of Gorguts. He's got Zapnogin, he got 2 elites. Potentially, if he holds long enough, he's got a Gorkonaut, which is a very late game elite, 9 points. While Weiss doesn't have late game elites, so that would be would be pretty strong. But as you can see, he's got tank boosters now. They will be able to deal with the blades, but the Eldar is flanking from the top. He's trying to push the core. He's going straight for it. Zapnogin stayed behind. Tank boosters are going to be able to scare off some blades, but you've got 3 blades, you've got 2 Spectres, some Dire Avengers that are getting hit quite hard by Zapnogin's just basic auto attacks. Suicide is coming back into the base. He realized he's in danger. The Blaze are not going for the core because he's locked, and the core is back up. So now the Blaze are going to go to the core. But the tank boosters are doing a number on them, and as you can see, the Blades, they don't hold that long. So boom, the Blades attacking the core are dead. The Spectres are attacking the Knobs, but the Knobs are able to do a lot of damage to the Spectres. Gorgus is able to tie them up. There's just one blade on the core. It's not going to be enough to kill the core because the Spectres and the blades are going to die. You can see the Eldar ultimate ability in action, that storm right there. It slows and damages stuff in an area. But you have more blades. Oh no, it's the Scorpions that jumps. The Scorpions jumped, got caught by the tower. So blades weren't enough to get through that infantry, but they did like 80% of the core health. So it's not the best counter, but Waze can afford to just throw away blades. Like he lost like what 7 or something,
Wow.
but he just got
What a
enough
what a
money.
fight, man. What a comeback, man.
Yeah, and even though Society still has most of your army and is trying to push, he doesn't have the economy to keep defending against just the the war machine of the Eldar
What a
at this
fucking
point.
play, man.
But he's pushing core now, or at least base. He's going for
Yeah.
the shield gen, which is going to fall pretty quickly against all of that. He's still under war. Waze is moving also forward towards Society Space, though while this is happening. So the shield is going to be protected by that unit that went in garrison inside it. It's going to die from the melee, and now it's back up. But Weiss is using his portal to teleport
Kaboom.
uh, blades back. So you have two blades now that Society could stop, but two blades alone in an undefended core is going to be enough. So the core heals
Yep.
over time. As you can see, it's back at 50%, but uh, Society's army is not there to defend, and the blades now are going to be able to just kill that core.
And that's that.
Society used his teleport back. He's got one recall, but not in time. And that's game from a sneaky flank of the blades.
Ha 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 ha. That was a great, great match. I really enjoyed that. Fuck.
I feel sad for those orcs.
Good
Poor
good
orcs.
orc gameplay though, right? He was fighting.
Yeah, great
Scrappy.
comebacks, and he was a threat at the bottom. Without that flank up top, he would have been able to take that tower,
Yeah.
and maybe held long enough to get that Gorknot. If he had the time to get that, the game would have been very different because that Gorknot would be uncontested on the map. The blades, while doing a lot of damage, would just die straight away, and he would be able to take the core. So even though it was very one-sided the first half of the game, that Zepnagin wipe was enough to make a comeback in a pretty fair game towards the end.
That was amazing. I think I want to grab a cup of coffee. I want to get the next replay ready. Big shout out to One No Fear, and we'll be right back.
All right, see ya.
About 5 minutes. Five
Mhm.
minutes roughly.
Let me pause the game.
Oh, okay.
150.
There was no in-game sound this whole time. Okay, I'm gonna pause the game. I'm at 149. You know what? Let's just start all over again. Let's just start all over again.
Yeah, okay. Let me
I'm gonna quit out of this and
name and to redo it
sorry guys for the technical difficulty. Oh my god! So there was no sound
from the game.
from the game or me. Okay, that's what's so. I'm so sorry. Something happened before. I had to restart the game and it offset a bunch of bugs. I don't know what happened. I'm using Twitch Studios, so a
Are
little
we live?
buggy. I think we're live.
Okay.
We
Can
should
you
be
hear
okay
me,
now.
people?
Yes. Can you guys hear us okay now? That's funny, bro. So funny. Thank you, Lord Apostle Crab. Thank you. Um, okay. Hillside said no, so I think he's. But I be able to hear us.
I don't know if they can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can, but I don't know if it
All right,
gets through.
let me jump on my other computer. I'll be able to tell. Hold on one sec. Oh shit. Okay, so oh they can.
They can hear me. Okay. Hello.
Oh my god, the sound is fucking terrible. I don't hear anything in the end game though.
Reloading game 3.
The fuck is going on? Has this been like this the whole time?
Hope not. Well, they said the stream was good up until then, so I expect they would
He can
have
hear us
told
both,
us.
but does he hear the in-game sound? For some reason, I only hear the in-game sound when you talk.
When I talk, you only hear the in-game sound.
Everything was fine before the break. I'm so sorry, guys. Um, I'm gonna shut it down. Okay, I'm gonna shut it down and restart it. So sorry. I'll be right back.